good evening and welcome. Live racing on the broadcasting lounge with Supercars NZ, and tonight it's the Manon Racing Products GTE Series round 7 from none other than the holy grail of Australasian motorsport, Mount Panorama Bathurst. Super excited to be here. Corey joins me in the lounge tonight. How's it going, Corey?
Yeah, g'day Shane. Yeah, couldn't be better. You get a Thursday night, you get Mount Panorama, Bathurst, and premium conditions for these cars too, I reckon.
Yeah, looking pretty quick out there. Couple of sub 2 minute laps on the board already in qualifying, which has a few minutes remaining. Before we check that out, a quick look at what we've got in store tonight. So 6.14 kilometre track length around what was originally built as a scenic road and very quickly turned into a racetrack for all things from race cars to motorbikes and everything in between. Plenty of great history at this racetrack, and we're going to send our GTE cars out for a bit of a blast in the virtual world tonight.
Yeah, that extra little bit of aero on these cars, that makes them a wee bit faster than the V8s. So it is Supercars NZ's fastest class of racing coming to you on a Thursday, isn't it?
It sure is, and we've got 22 degrees ambient temperature out there, 35% humidity, overcast conditions, so that should keep the track temp nice and cool, and that will help them with plenty of grip as well. Um, as I mentioned, we are running qualifying at the moment. A few minutes left in that. Stephen McCartan currently sits on the pole with a 59.55. He looks like he's satisfied with that and sitting back in the pits. Sean McNamara also back in the pits, running in second with a 59.93, just ahead of Aaron Goodrick in third on a 59.96. Matthew Gerard sitting fourth. He's just
Oh,
wrapped up a lap, and
yeah,
Matthew Gerard has gone to the top.
yeah,
A
he's put an absolute blinder in.
59.34. Wow. So Stefan felt comfortable with the time he had on the board, but clearly it wasn't enough. Matthew Gerard's jumped up there. Maybe track rubbering in, track getting faster, and Stefan not quite on track at the right time, or maybe Matthew just absolutely nailed it on that lap.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone 2/100ths of a second faster over both of the last two sectors over Stefan McCartan. So yeah, he's gone out there and put in an absolute blinder to finish off the session.
And that's going to wrap it up. So Matthew Gerard takes pole from Stephen McCartan. And
We didn't see that coming.
we did not. We can run through the full grid order now. So Matthew Gerard there taking the pole. He'll line up alongside Stefan there. Sean McNamara and Aaron Goodrick behind them on the second row. Then we've got Dan Turner and Wayne Hartnell. Then Nick Accordia and Tom McCall on the fourth row. Back to Blake Greenhill, James McKenzie, Leith Swinney, Jonathan Turner, Steve Dowron, Daniel Heddershide, Heath Mahone, Kristen Jenkins. Actually, I've jumped a bit too far there. No, I haven't. No, we're right. Carry on,
Yeah, no,
as we
you're
were.
good. You're good.
Yeah. And then we've got Bill Kilgour, Richard Fauci, our Race Week sponsor this week from Sync. Bit more on them later. Nico Scholes is going to line up 19th and Andy Erdin 20th, and looks like Matt McDonald will round out the grid in 21st tonight.
Yeah, 21, maybe 20 cars to start the race. We can't complain about that.
Yeah, not a bad turnout.
Yeah, of course, round seven done or on its way to be done. Two races tonight. First one being a 15-minute race, and the second 25 with the inverted top 10 just to make things interesting. They're not going to have enough fuel. So look for this first race to decide the grid for the second. Who's your money on?
Well, Matthew Gerard's obviously been able to put down a good time, so he's quick, but it's hard to Hard to look past Stephen McCartan in a race, isn't it? We know he can be quick on a single lap, but he can also put down good, consistent lap times throughout a race. So I reckon Stefan's going to find a way here. As far as who's going to get the reverse grid pole, I reckon Steve Darren might sneak in there.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. I'd almost put a yeah, Steve Darren, Leaf Swinney even. He could be. He's always up there, starting a little lower than normal for him as they come down the hill here for the part of the parade lap, and we'll get under this rolling start when the safety horse driver tonight aggressively turns into pit lane.
Yeah, that's going to happen before the final corner here at Bathurst. It'll still be a late pit entry as we used to see from the safety car, but dives in there before the final corner and hands control over to Matthew Gerard. And he's going to wait. Looks like he's going to wait for the green flag, and that comes out, and they're away. Matthew gets the jump on Stephen McCartan, slots in front. A bit of a lock up there from Blake Greenhill into turn one, and Leaf Swinney goes around.
Yeah, Blake Greenhill facing the wrong way as well. Somebody else in the gravel pit as well. There we go. We see Blake turning around, and looks like Bill Kilgour in there as well in the kitty litter. Somebody else is coming out.
It wasn't Blake that was facing the wrong way. It was actually Bill. So he's running the same livery as Blake, that Golf Porsche livery. No, sorry, not Bill. Daniel Heddershine.
Oh, right.
There we go. Third time's a charm.
21 starters, so a few cars come out of pit lane, would have been held up there by the Hell Corner shenanigans.
Yeah, certainly plenty of shenanigans there. Sean McNamara, first time over the top of the mountain, all over the back of... No, sorry, he's got Aaron Goodrick all over the back of him.
A great start from Steve Darren. He is up 7 spots into P6.
Well, so I called him potentially getting into the top 10. I was right on that, but if he carries on the way he's going, he's not going to be on that reverse grid pole. He's going to be a bit further back than that in the second race, but good start and great to see him already straight into the top 10. Blake Greenhill and Tom McCall going side by side down Conrod Straight. Tom just slots in behind to go single file into the chase. Heath Mahone and JT going side by side as well. JT just grabbing that spot through the kink, and Heath getting loose, trying to exit the chase and ended up in the gravel.
Oh, there'll be a fair bit of kitty litter here, I'd say. Very careful coming back onto the road, which is very good to see.
Early pit stop for Nico Cordia coming down the lane.
Yeah, damage for Nico Cordia. He's got a meatball.
Okay, so damage picked up presumably in that lap 1 Hell Corner mess.
Yeah, that could be potentially where it's come from. Unlucky for Nico.
Matthew Gerard, decent first lap. Has been able to hold off Stephen McCartan so far, but Stefan staying very close in behind. Under half a second at the moment as they make their way over the top.
Yeah, he was a little bit quicker through that second sector, and their lap times already pretty close together, these two. They have opened up a 2.4 second lead back to Aaron Goodrick too, so yeah, absolutely flying along.
Yeah, these guys showing a ton of pace early on. And Stefan.
And we get to see a Ford versus Chevy battle at Mount Panorama on a Thursday.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Stefan will pick up the draft down Conrod Straight. That Chev looking quick at a straight line though. It looked like even with Stefan having the draft, Matthew was able to pull out fractionally down the straight. Got on board with Stefan McCartan, and this is worth just staying on board for a lap, because we had a quick look at this very onboard, Corey, during qualifying, didn't we? And it looked absolutely remarkable over the top of the mountain.
Yeah, it's absolutely flat out, and takes balls flat out over the top of this hill without even touching the brakes.
Yeah, it sure does. So he's going to come up the hill, he'll get on the brakes for Griffiths Bend. Tips it in there, still carrying a ton of speed. Sparks coming off Matty Gerard's card in front. Grab the brakes again for the cutting, and then next time he touches the brakes will be into Skyline.
He's having a great season, Stefan. He's gotten 837 points as well, and the next competitor in second place is Leith Swinney on 713. So he's got a healthy over 100 point lead there at the top for this autumn season.
Yeah, been pretty dominant so far, but Matthew Gerard certainly liking this car and track combination and is breaking up the theme of Stefan having it all his own way. Stefan's just rubbed the wall on the exit of the elbow there, trying to do the Dick Johnson move. Tucks into the draft.
Such a fast pace, though. It's hard to keep up. Like you said earlier, it's like it's in fast forward.
Yeah, over the top. It genuinely looks like you're watching a video in fast forward. Oh, heard the tyres squealing there for Stefan McCartan, and it looked like he was about half car width wide of the apex of the left-hander at the chase. So he's absolutely pushing to try and get close enough to make a move on Matthew Gerard here.
And consecutive
Dan
sub
Turner.
2 minute lap.
Dan Turner in the background going backwards into the kiddie litter at Murray's Corner and drags some of that back onto the track as he rejoins. That will be...
James McKenzie coming a little bit unstuck on that debris there too.
Yeah, and that's the challenge with the debris model that we've got, as James drags a bit of his own on now as he runs wide at Howe Corner. All that gravel that you drag back onto the track is richer. Does the same thing at Howe Corner, but all that gravel actually sits there and affects the grip for the following cars, where it didn't used to be a thing previously, but it very much is now.
Yeah, and you get that bright coloured flag too, which caught me out the first time I seen it.
Just while we're looking at Richard Foucher here, good time to mention our Race Week sponsor, Sync.
Yes, how good is Sync getting on board, sponsoring us for 2 rounds as well. So couldn't thank Richard Foucher enough for all of that effort getting behind the league, and good to see him back out there in a sim too. But Sync is a managed service provider, and they're based in Auckland. And they provide IT services from user support to building complex network solutions. So desktop support, server support, desktop design, cybersecurity, disaster recovery, voice over IP, and AI consultation.
Sorry to cut you off there, Corey. Matthew Gerard's gone off at the chase. I saw the position switch on the leaderboard, and that's why I jumped to Stefan. And when Matthew wasn't in that shot, I figured something must have gone wrong, and he has gone off, looped it at the chase, unsure as to whether there was contact or he's just done it by himself, but he has dropped back to P6 now, so that is devastating for Matthew, and he was looking good to be able to hold Stefan off over the course of this 15-minute race. We can go back and have a look at what happened there. So coming into the chase here, Stefan has a look. There was a touch.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. There wasn't anything over the radio, so yeah. Was it maybe the dreaded netcode? Maybe.
Could have been. It did look like there might have been a little bit of space between the cars, but certainly the way Maddie's car reacted there looked like it was down to contact. Worth noting there is no live race control tonight. Um, Sean this season choosing to race the GTEs, so I don't think we have anybody available for race control currently. Oh,
Yeah, someone
that was
smoking.
Blake Greenhill hard into the wall at the S's, and he has heavy damage to that front right. It's pitching him left into the concrete of the hill. He's trying to drive it back. Oh, oh, that's unfortunate. He was trying to drag it back, but it just wasn't working for him. He's going to keep persisting with it, but I think you might just need to hit that tow button, Blake. That is driving like an absolute pig, even more so than the Porsche normally does.
Yeah, it's probably a little even worse now too, unfortunately, and smoking a little bit is never good. Oh, look at that crab.
Yeah, the crab walk's never nice. I've had it in the GT3 Merc a couple of times and given Wayne and Sean great entertainment when they were commentating on the GT3 races back in the day.
And here Matthew Gerard made short work of getting around Dan Turner and Steve Darren, and has got himself up into fourth. So he's got a little bit of a job to do with less than 5 minutes now in this race.
Yeah, so he's got 11 seconds to make up to Sean McNamara, so as quick as his car is and as he is tonight, I think that's probably just going to be a little bit too much to try and make up in 5 minutes. So I think probably fourth is where we're going to see him finish.
Yeah, Sean has managed to get himself right up onto the back of Aaron Goodrich as well. We've got a replay here at the start.
Yeah, so we hadn't quite picked that up. So Leith taking a hit from behind, going round, and then the rest of that was just the concertina of everybody checking up to try and get around, and people in behind those that were checking up not quite aware that there was something going on ahead, and just one of those things that happens with tight racing.
Yeah, a bit of a recovery there. Leafs winning. He's managed to get himself back up into 10th, which I think maybe Shane was my prediction for 10th. Richard O'Shea, he's up 7 spots. Stephen Darren, though, he is our biggest mover, up 8 spots into P5 so far. But Sean McNamara, here's where he started. He's just got Aaron Goodrich in front of him, who's up 2 spots. And he's been close for a few laps. We've got Steve Darren now going backwards.
Dan Turner going backwards as well. He's gone off at the chase. Steve looks like potentially might have gone off in a similar place and just rejoined. His name did drop back, so we've got a couple of occasions of Steve going off track on lap 6. Oh, so Steve and Dan might have been involved together actually. Oh, Dan deep in the chase, and I think jumped over that curb to try and avoid Steve and just unsettled the car a bit too much and made contact. Good quick recovery from Steve though.
He got the just the way it all worked out for him.
Sean able to get very close behind Matthew Gerard over the top here. Behind Aaron Goodrich, sorry. Over the top. Good draft from Sean McNamara. He's going to pull out. getting up to 279 before he jumped on the brakes at the chase, and he has grabbed P2 off Aaron Goodrick. So good move from Sean there, able to get the toe down Conrod and get that move done, but Aaron's not letting him get away. He's sticking right there with him, and he'll get that toe up Mountain Straight as they take the white flag. This will be the final lap.
Yeah, absolutely no pressure, Sean McNamara. He's going to hold Aaron Goodrick off here for a full lap around Bathurst. And it's hard to notice Sean McNamara too, without white wheels on his car. I'd like to bring that up.
Yeah,
Times change.
the signature's gone. I think he got sick of copping grief for it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's like Paul Bloomquist. If Paul Bloomquist didn't, if he turned up here and didn't have those salmon wheels, yeah, we would be, we'd have nothing to talk about.
Look how committed Aaron was out of the chase there, all the way out to the wall on the right hand side. I think it actually just compromised his line a little bit through the right hander up the hill though, as Sean's been able to pull out a little bit of a gap.
Stefan, though, he's going to grab yet another victory. I'd say he's had 6 wins, but I'm thinking he's probably had more than that with the heat races being, they must only count the feature, maybe?
Yeah, I think that might be right, because he's certainly had a few doubles in there as well, so I would say he's definitely got more than 6. This is going to add to that, because he is, well, he's still got to get the last few corners correct, but he comes through the chase now, and just Murray's corner left to negotiate now. Gets it through there, and he will bring it across the line. Stefan McCartan winning race 1 tonight. Sean McNamara holds on to P2. Aaron Goodrick rounding out the podium places in 3rd. Matthew Gerard, after that incident earlier on in the race, recovers to P4. Tom McCall is going to look to bring it home in 5th. Just bringing it through Murray's corner now. And Wayne Hartnell coming home just behind in 6th there. Steve Darren up 6 spots in the end into P7. Good drive from Steve. Jonathan Turner coming home P8. Dan Turner P9. Leith Swinney picks up the reverse grid pole. You called it, Corey.
I did.
Leith coming home in 10th. Nico Cordia 11th. Richard Fauci 12th.
You've been listening to Sean too much.
Kristen Jenkins coming through the chase now, running in 13th. Coming down into Murray's corner. And he'll bring it across the line to wrap up P13. Heath Mahone P14. Daniel Heddershide P15. And James McKenzie looks like he's going to be the last guy on the lead lap, and he will bring it home in P16. Blake Greenhill bringing it home in 17th, a lap down, and Bill Kilgour pulling the pin early. Looks like Nico Scholes, Matt McDonald and Andy Uden didn't start. So that was an entertaining race win. Stefan McCartan entertaining race 1. Stefan McCartan picking up the race win. But Matt Gerard was looking strong until that incident at the Chase. Unfortunately, um, losing out on a chance to win that one, and ultimately recovering to P4. So he will start from, I think, sixth in the, no, might be, yeah, would be sixth in the feature, would it? No, seventh.
Uh,
Seventh. He'll start from seventh in the feature. And with Stephen McCartan starting a couple of spots behind in 10th, that'll be a chance for Matt to see if he can cut his way through the field ahead and maybe pull out a bit of a gap if he can get to the front.
yeah, that starting order, Lake Swinney obviously off the front, Dan Turner up there with him. Yeah, JT in third, Steve Darren off the second row, Wayne Hartnell, Thomas McColby in third, Matthew Gerard, Aaron Goodrich, fourth row, and the fifth row will be the Mick party, the S-Mick party. Actually, so we would do. We'll drag in our second place getter for the first race. So yeah, nabbing second race with Sean McNamara. How was that for you? You fought back and got back past good friend Aaron there at the end.
Yeah, it was cool fun. Like obviously he definitely had more pace on the straights, and he got past me. I never fought it as you did, only because of no Aaron. And then I was following him, and I said to him, "I'm only going to pass you if you make a mistake," and that did happen. And he's quite nice, he let me go in the end to get past second to last lap. He's faster into the last corner than me. I don't understand how his brakes are better, so I'll need to look into that for the next one.
It could be a Ford versus Chevy thing there, maybe. That Chevy Corvette just got better brakes. Well, you're in a Beamer actually, anyway, so don't disregard what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll let you go. But the pucker up moment was what happened with P1 and P2, because when he went off and we came around at the chase, I thought he was going to come back and track right in front of us. We both just shit ourselves completely. So
I was waiting for order race control, which doesn't exist in GTE. So
no. So is it a ticket? You think? I haven't seen the replay, so
I'm not too sure.
I think it will be a ticket, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah. So if that is, then it's a time penalty. Would that make me P1?
Oh, yeah, could do.
So I might have to get someone else to look at that. See, that's how honest we are here at Supercars NZ. I'll get Aaron to make the call on that one. So,
but he could be promoted to P2 out of that too. Yeah, so I guess he's out of the gate too.
I think we both take this serious as we want to do well, but we're not. It's not the end of everything.
We might need Dion DeGraff to call that one, eh?
Nah, we'll leave him out. He'll be ringing me in a minute. Say that again.
His name got brought up on live YouTube.
Yeah, he'll suck that one out of the internet somewhere and watch it.
Hear his name and his ears twinkle.
But a bit of carnage. Obviously, some people still haven't got quite the grip of this car. Turn one, someone ran into the back of our good friend Lee. I didn't see it, but I heard the comms in the Discord chat, which was fun.
Yeah, he did take a hit from behind, and it triggered a little bit of mess for the guys that were coming through behind that, as you'd probably expect with a mid-pack incident and a tight pack coming into turn one here.
What's something we need to probably think about in the future is maybe a virtual yellows in this series sometimes, because the iRacing yellow is way too long. We could all agree on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's a virtual system that we can make all the drivers aware of. I don't know. Just to help people out when they're destroyed from other people's mistakes, which is always the bummer thing. I did say that I wish someone would take out Leaf so I could pass him in the championship, and then it happened. So a little awkward in the Discord chat, a little awkward, but there was definitely nothing organised.
Well,
no money has changed hands.
He's got a chance to recoup some points in the second race because he's going to start from the reverse grid pole.
Yeah, I did see that. And a little bit gutted because I chased him in the championship for 6th, 5th, and 6th or some shit. I had a shocker last week, so I'm trying to come back. Yeah, so all right, and we're waiting to grid. So, cross our fingers.
Yeah, good luck. Starting near the back of the the mid pack actually for you. So good luck, mate.
Yeah. All right, no worries, boys. Take it easy.
Cheers, Sean. So a look at that grid, as we mentioned, Leith Swinney taking the reverse grid pole there. He's going to line up alongside Dan Turner, Jonathan Turner and Steve Darren on the second row there. Then we've got Wayne Hartnell and Tom McCall, Matthew Gerard and Aaron Goodrick. Sean McNamara and Stephen McCartan off the fifth row there. Nico Cordia, Richard Fauci, Kristen Jenkins, Heath Mahone, Daniel Heddershide, James McKenzie, and then we've got Blake Greenhall, Bill Kilgour, Nico Scholes, Andy Uden and Matt McDonald, although I think those last three names didn't start the previous one, so I don't think we'll be expecting to see them in this one either, so more than likely Bill Kilgour off the back in this one. As we pull away behind the safety car. It'll be a good opportunity for Leith to see what he can do starting from the pole after being caught up in that turn one incident in the first race. Safety car peels off and Leith gets control. And puts the foot down and accelerates away. He'll slot ahead of Dan Turner there as they come down to turn one. Bit of chopping and changing there. Matthew Gerard up to P6 already, but shuffling back. Going side by side with Tom McCall there. Gets him back down the straight. He's got Aaron Goodrick tucking in behind, potentially giving him a little bit of a bump draft. Two Chevs working together up Mountain Straight.
You'd almost call them teammates, yeah.
Yeah, looks like they're running the same livery on the Chevs as well. They're both going to be on the outside here though, but Matthew's been able to sweep ahead. Moves up into P5 ahead of Wayne Hartnell. Stephen McCartan has now made up one position, but slow going for him early on that one. Hasn't been able to. Actually, sorry, Stefan's moved up to 8th, so he's got ahead of Sean as well as Tom McCall, who has been shuffled back by the look of it.
Yeah, James McKenzie, he's just come a proper. He's towed.
Yeah, looked like he towed just as I clicked on his name there.
Yeah, awkward spot where he crashed. He would have been across the road, so getting out of the way pretty quickly. So good thinking, I guess.
Leith having a little bit of a blink and a battle with Dan Turner. Battle for the lead this one and looking very tight, so already plenty of excitement up front as as Dan Turner goes around.
Yeah, we've got 3 cars in the pits as well, just down to that. So 3 cars actually towed out of that first lap. Richie Bechet, Daniel Heddershide and James McKenzie.
Dan Turner back on track now, or back facing the right way I should say. Daniel Heddershide has made his way, no he hasn't made his way out of the pit, sorry.
Looks like he's parked it for the night.
Okay, so that's why his name's no longer grey, because he's disconnected.
Yeah, well, it's not Unite, I guess. Not Unite.
Yeah, that's right. So Steve Darren's moved up to P2. Matthew Gerard onto the podium already, and that's, man, that Stephen McCartan going up the inside of Aaron Goodrick at McPhillamy. With the speed they're carrying through there in these cars, I can't imagine even attempting that move, but he's done it and he's pulled it off, and it's going to reignite the battle for the lead that we had in race 1. It's not currently for the lead, but I think before long it will be, because these two are making fantastic progress through the field.
They are following each other through now, aren't they? So those Steve Darren, Matthew Gerard, Stephen McCartan and Aaron Goodrick all making good ground over the first couple of laps here.
You can see Stefan moving around a little bit leading up to the braking zones, I think, trying to see if he can search for a weakness in Matthew Gerard here and maybe take advantage while they're both dealing with traffic, see if he can catch him off guard and make a move. Does look like he's able to stay closer in the draft as well, so I wonder if he's trimmed a little bit of wing off that car in the warm-up to deal with a little bit of the straight line speed issues that he was having in race 1, because it did look like he was down on straight line speed a little bit in that first time.
Yeah, he's a smart thinker, isn't he? He's always thinking ahead, I guess I would almost call it. Leith just under a 3-second gap at the moment to Steve Darren, and then the pack is pretty backed up all the way down to 10th and Nico 40.
Yeah, it's super tight through there at the moment. All very packed up. I think once Matty and Stefan make their way around Steve, I think they'll potentially start to close in on Leith fairly quickly, although Leith, well, he qualified down the order in race 1, didn't he? So I think probably doesn't have the outright pace that Matty and Stefan have, so I think we will see them close that gap. Pit stops are obviously going to come into it as well, as Matthew gets around Steve now into P2, and having got that job done there, it's a chance for him to get his head down and make some ground while Stefan's still behind Steve, but he's going to move alongside in the braking zone into Murray's, and they're going to stay side by side down the pit straight, and I think he should get the job done under brakes for Hell Corner. And gets that one done and sets off, but Matthew has been able to pull out a 1.5 second lead while Stefan was dealing with having to get around Steve there.
Yeah, fastest lap of the race so far for Matthew Gerard. That last time by a 2th lap.
That's on race pace, absolutely insane lap speed.
Yeah, race 1, both those, Stefan McCartan and Matthew Gerard both did 1:5.97s. They were fairly close anyway. Did we touch on the wall there, was it?
I wasn't actually looking. Oh, that was definitely a touch on the wall.
Yeah, that'll be taking that sign riding off the side of that Porsche.
Yeah, potentially messing with the alignment of those right-hand wheels as well, which won't be ideal, but he's able to keep going anyway. We can jump on board and see what the wheel's doing. Actually looking okay at the moment, so he might have got away with that one.
Yeah, nice 0x on the wall maybe.
Looked like a pretty solid hit, but it might have been square enough that it didn't bend anything in either direction.
So
Stefan,
Matthew Gerard already under half a second behind Leith Swinney. As we see Stefan McCartan maybe taking a bit of a tactical move and coming down the lane early.
yeah, early pit stop, looking for the undercut on Matthew Gerard. Probably a good option as well to get clean air while Matty's tucked up in behind Leith. But he's going to pull out and get alongside on Mountain Straight, and he will take the lead into Griffiths Bend on, I don't actually know what lap we're on because I haven't got that information up.
We're on lap 5. It'll be
Lap
the
5.
lap.
There we go.
Is that too early of a pit stop for Stefan McCartan?
Well, we're only a few minutes away from the halfway mark, so I think he should be okay. And in under a minute we'll be at what the race length was for race 1. So yeah, I think he should be able to get to the end from here.
It's 15 the first one, wasn't it?
Correct.
I guess he can fuel save too, where he's known for being able to pull such shenanigans off. We've got a meatball out for Heath Mahone. Falcon Corvette. That sounds weird to say, doesn't it? Falcon.
Yeah, just doesn't look to be going along too badly at the moment, but he's obviously got some damage somewhere to have picked up a meatball. He'll be able to...
Cars in the lane now too.
Yeah, and he'll be able to use this as his pit stop to get the fuel in that he needs to get to the end of the race, so shouldn't hurt him too badly. So Stefan McCartan had come out in P14. He's going to get back a bunch of those spots now as more cars start to take their pit stops, and climbs back up to P7. Of course, what we'll be very interested to see is when this guy, Matt Gerard, comes in, whether he's able to get out in front of Stefan or if Stefan's been able to pull the undercut on him.
He's already got a 3.5 second lead over Leaf Swinney, and his last lap a 1:59.86. Quickest lap of the race as well.
Yeah, he's looking pretty rapid out there.
Yeah, over a 4-second lead back to Leaf Swinney already, and that's in the matter of 2 laps, not even 2 laps.
Yeah, that's impressive, and he wasn't held up behind Leith for very long after Stefan got into the pits, and the traditional undercut that we're used to seeing in the V8s is to make use of fresh tyres while the guy you're fighting is going around on old tyres, but I don't think we're expecting to see guys changing tyres in this one. They have to do one at a time, so they certainly won't get all 4 done, as someone's been off the track ahead of Matty there and just rejoining, kicked some dust up and brought some debris back onto the track. But yeah, I think it would more than likely take longer to do 4 tyres than it would to get the fuel you need into the car. And the tyres should go the distance anyway, so I wouldn't expect that Stefan took fresh tyres, but he's just banking on the fact that he was able to get some clean air while Matty was briefly caught up behind Leith Swinney there.
Yeah, he made short work of it, didn't he? And he's done well. Getting ahead. It's going to be interesting to see where he comes out of the pits and where Stefan is too. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Leith rejoining now having made his pit stop, so he lost a spot to Aaron Goodrick and Stephen McCartan there.
Yeah, just the 3 cars left to go down the lane. Matthew Gerard and the couple of the Team West boys, Wayne Hartnell and Jonathan Turner up the last.
Now this is telling and probably quite a good reference in that I think Matthew Gerard, what was he, about 3 or 4 seconds clear of Leith by the time Leith came into the pits. Well, Stefan's 7, nearly 8 seconds clear of Leith now that Leith has been in, so that would suggest to me that he might have been able to make a little more ground, although last lap times Stefan a 2:01.9, Matthew a 2-minute .32, and we're going to get our answer very soon because Matt's coming into the pits now. Attacks the limiter line at the yellow cone there.
We've got Stefan just coming through the chase at the moment. Probably going to get a little bit ahead here. He's just about at the last corner, just passing pit entry, turning the last corner now.
Coming down the straight. Matty still always come out, and they're side by side. Actually, that's a lap car ahead, I think, because Matthew has come out ahead of Stefan. JT yet to pit, currently our leader, but that should sort itself out when JT comes and gets some fresh tyres on the car. So Matty able to make the overcut work. He got the job done on Leith right in the nick of time and didn't lose out after Stefan was able to get that clear air, and then was able to put some good quick laps in on a lower fuel load than Stefan and hold on to that lead or that position for now, which should turn into the race lead once JT comes to the pits.
It's that James McKenzie in between them. I think it might be.
And Stefan just getting held up a little bit on the run down the hill. James jumps out of the way at Forest Alva and clobbers the wall on the exit, unfortunately. Doing the right thing.
A meatball out for Aaron Goodrick. Something's happened there. The Ginge is injured.
Oh yeah, that front right doesn't look all that good, does it? Doesn't look to be pointing quite where it should be.
It'd be a bit of a menace under brakes, I imagine. Burning.
Yeah, he's carrying some decent pace considering the angle that's sitting at, but he comes into the pits and we'll get that taken care of. Unfortunately, it's going to be a second stop for him. JT also coming to the lane to serve his pit stop, and that cleanses the field. Everybody's made at least one stop, and that means Matthew Gerard is our race leader. He's got Stephen McCartan under a second behind him now though, so Stefan showing strong pace.
Stefan's got that fastest lap of the race now too, 1:59.43.
Yeah, he does too, and on his last lap he did a 2-minute flat .01, so very close to a perfect 2-minute flat there.
Yeah, up 8 spots into P2 for Stefan, and our biggest mover is a B Larky, up 10 spots into P7 so far.
Yeah, good drive for Blake on the... Oh, he's clobbered that wall again.
Yeah, every time you switch to him, he seems to have a bit of a whack on the wall.
Oh! finds the tyres now and pinballs down through the S's, so I'm thinking he's probably got a meatball on that car now.
Yes, he definitely does.
Oh, side by side for the lead. Into the chase, Stefan on the inside of the King. Matt holds on the outside to get the inside for the left-hander. Runs a little bit wide, but just kept it on track enough to be able to hold Stefan behind for now.
So he learned something from that first race. He covered that outside line a little bit there to get the inside into that final corner out of the chase.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a ripper battle. Hopefully all the way through to the checkered flag. Hopefully it doesn't end with contact as it did in race 1.
Now these two are 12.5 seconds ahead of Sean McNamara in third place now.
Stefan got the drag up Mountain Straight, but ended up on the outside and wasn't able to get the move done into turn 2. I definitely think Stefan's trimmed some wing out of that Ford GT as Matty ran very wide out of the cutting and even scraped the wall there.
You're going to want to check out that last lap from Stefan. He did what you were talking about last lap. He's nailed it this time.
Oh, he has too. 2 minute 0 seconds .00.
We thought it couldn't be done. Oh, it's always good to have the answers straight away, Shona.
Sure is. But yeah, the point I was making a little bit earlier, that Stefan didn't seem able to take advantage of the draft in race 1. He was able to get there and not really close in. Where now, as you can see, he's able to get into the draft and pull out and get alongside. But they run side by side through the chase again, and Matty's just putting his car in the right places. Has a slide, runs off the track. That's going to be the spot for Stefan McCartan, and I think Matthew's going to have to clear a bit of a slowdown there as well, because he did unfortunately cut the right-hander of the chase. It wasn't much, but they are pretty strict on the slowdown penalty there.
Yep, there is a black flag showing for car 169. He has now cleared it.
But you could see there just how he was able to close in with the draft and pull out and get alongside, which he wasn't able to do in race 1. So I do think he trimmed some wing out of that car in the warm-up, and that's what's made the difference for him, because it's actually enabled him to get alongside and make the move where he couldn't quite get to that point in race 1. Tom McCall and Nico Cordia going side by side.
Yeah, reasonably quiet night for Nico Cordia, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been, and doing a good job here, putting his car in the right places. I thought he'd gone a bit deep into turn 2, and it looked like Tom was able to almost get the switch back on him there, but he just had nowhere to go on the run up to the cutting. You'll notice it's getting quite dark out there. They are heading into sunset.
Yeah, 5 minutes to 5 local time.
Yeah, and the fact that I've set the race up to end at sunset tells me that this must have been one of the races that iRacing actually had set in the official series as a night race. If the guys out there want to believe that I was kind to them by not making them race around the mountain in the night, you can believe that if you want. But the truth is, I just didn't want it to look bad on the stream, because there's no lighting around here. All would see would be headlights.
Yeah, those nice fluorescent lights they have on the side of some of these cars.
which, don't get me wrong, looks cool, but you know, you got guys that have put a lot of work into liveries, and they've got sponsors that want to be seen on the stream, so we want to make sure that everybody watching at home can see all these awesome liveries on the cars.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people put time in, Dan Turner being one of them. He puts a lot of
Oh!
work into those Team West cars.
Aaron Goodrick running down the grass trying to get around Heath Mahone. Switches back to the right now, which is probably where he wanted to be anyway, and gets
Christian
the job
Jenkins.
done on the inside. Christian Jenkins, sorry, yep. Things starting to get a little bit more spread out now. This is one of the closest battles on track, and actually as that stretches out a little bit, we can jump to this one where Nico Cordia, I think, recently been passed by Tom McCall, but sticking with him very much. And with the draft down Conrod Straight, able to close that down to under 0.2 of a second. Is he going to pull out for a move at the chase? Oh, he has a look. He's down there under brakes. Does he get it pulled up? He does. Has a bit of a slide off the left-hander, but gets that one done. That was a nice move.
It was, yeah. He put the work in there. He's followed Tom and found that way past. Up 4 spots into P7, Nico. So, as I said, he's been reasonably quiet. Hasn't been making headlines tonight, but he's still thereabouts, top 10. A good run out of the first corner there from Tom McCall, and he's managed to get back past.
Yeah, Nico just ran a bit wide there and grabbed a bit of grass, unfortunately, so that slowed him down coming out of Hell Corner. We've gone over the 25-minute mark, so we're on the final lap. Stefan about halfway through it and has a lead of over a second and a half over Matthew Gerard. So I was right when I said I thought he would have the pace over a race distance. Once he got past, he has been able to pull that gap out, and actually I think Matty might have just made a wee mistake as well, because that stretched out to 2.5 seconds now. And potentially a mistake from JT somewhere on this lap, because Nico also has stretched out to 2.5 seconds since... Oh no, sorry, Nico was... It was Tom McCall that he was fighting with, wasn't it? It was.
Yes, it was.
That's right, he got back past at turn 1. Don't listen to me, I'm just talking crazy, but I figured out where I was at in the end. Where we are at is Stephen McCartan coming around the final corner. He is going to make it another double victory in GTEs. Wasn't as comfortable tonight as we've seen him be at times though. Matthew Gerard was certainly able to push him, got the pole, and unfortunately it came unstuck in race 1, but he was able to reignite that battle in race 2 after taking advantage of the reversible top 10 grid. Matty finishes P2. Sean McNamara picks up another podium, finishing in 3rd. Wayne Hartnell 4th. Leith Swinney coming home 5th. Steve Darren 6th. Tom McCall 7th. Nico Cordia 8th. Jonathan Turner 9th. Christian Jenkins rounds out the top 10. Aaron Goodrick comes home in 11th. Heath Mahone 12th. Dan Turner is going to come home in 13th as long as he keeps it together in Murray's corner. And Bill Kilgour is going to be last guy on the lead lap, coming home in P14. Blake Greenhill and James McKenzie finishing 15th and 16th, a lap down. looks like Rich, our weekly sponsor, called it a night early on in that one.
Yep, he's jumped in the comments there. He's great race all, 5 of knives. That is Richard Fisher. And you were spot on with Stefan McCartan. I heard him in the comms there having a yarn with Matty after the race. He definitely took some wing out of that car. Good call, Shana.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he was quicker in a straight line in that one, so it it seemed pretty clear to me. So good to know that I do know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Yeah, it's great to get it right every now and then, isn't it, mate?
Absolutely. But what a race! Great. Well, what a couple of races actually. Some great battles. Unfortunate in race one that ended in tears between Stefan and Matty there, but great to see that battle resumed in race two and ended cleanly in that one, and Stefan McCartan able to get around and walk away to a 2-second victory in the end.
Look at that. Corey being proactive and saving the replay. Well done.
Oh, good stuff.
Bathurst is always a good place to get a shot from, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a very cool track, and we're getting some great shots from the drone cam as the pit lane is all lit up as we head into sunset. That's a very cool shot. But yeah, nobody joining us, or nobody sitting in the waiting room waiting to talk to us at the moment. So I think we can pretty much just go ahead and wrap it up. So big thanks to Sync, our weekly sponsor this week, and their second week that they've backed us this season. So thank you very much to Richard for your support there, mate. Much appreciated. And of course, big thanks to MRP as well, Manon Racing Products. They are your go-to for sim racing stuff. Um, Not the only store for sim racing stuff, but tonight we're going to say they're your go-to because they're sponsoring our GTE series. So if you're looking to get some new gear, hit up Barry, go check them out, and they've also got real racing stuff as well. So you can check out mrp.co.nz and get their range and see what they can do for you. I think they've also got their dedicated sim racing site, which is mrpsimracing.co.nz. So they've got those two sides of the business separated there. But yeah, big thanks to you, Corey, for joining me in the lounge tonight.
Absolutely no worries at all, Shano. And if you want to hear more of us, off to Motorsport on Tuesday, you can tune into the Broadcasting Lounge and get that with either myself and Doug or myself and Shane. I don't know what's happening there, but I'll be there because Motorsport is up there with my faves, and we stay in the North American region for GTE and head to Sebring for a race again at sunrise next week. So that should be awesome too. So make sure you like and subscribe to the Broadcasting Lounge, and yeah, we will see you again next week.
Yeah, and of course, big thanks to all our drivers for coming along and keeping us entertained. Thanks to iRacing for giving us the platform that we love to take full advantage of. And big thanks to everybody at home for tuning in. We'll see you all next week.